Well, hello there, Cryptowisers. It's your old friend Milty. I am back. I have been traveling for a little while, so I'm sorry I have not been making any videos the last week or so, but I'm back with a brand new video today all about the Solana ecosystem. Okay, guys, Solana has been on fire since I made this video right here. Is Solana back? About a month ago. Obviously, we've been talking about Solana on this channel for a very, very long time, but the ecosystem is on fuego. Solana is at 61 bucks right now. It's actually been pumping a bit today. Everyone is talking Solana. Even Kathy Wood mentioned Solana on Squawk Box last week. We have not seen that ever. I don't think I've ever seen her publicly talk about Solana. And so look, this is what I am here to declare today. Solana has reached DCA status, dollar cost averaging status, okay? That means it's in a select group. What does DCA mean? It means dollar cost averaging. This group for me is the essential crypto group. It is any crypto that no matter what is going on, I am just DCAing. I am just buying a little bit every week or every month, however you want to do it. But I don't look at the price. I just DCA in until we reach that kind of bubble status in the next bull run. And then of course, take some profit. But what is in the DCA group? Well, for a long time, it was only Bitcoin. And then Ethereum joined it. Now, if you watch this channel, you know that for me, the other coin on that in that group is Polkadot. That is right. Now, some of you might not have Polkadot in there. You might have Cardano. You might have Avalanche. You might have Chainlink. You might have Dogecoin, okay? For me, the third coin in my DCA portfolio is Polkadot, but Solana is now officially part of that group. We cannot ignore Solana anymore. I think it is clearly going to be one of the huge stories in the next bull run. But the thing about Solana is, can you make money on Solana this next bull run? Of course, that's why we're DCAing into it, okay? And I think from a risk-reward standpoint, it is worthy of being in that DCA standpoint, in that its all-time high was at about 250 and we're only down at $61 right now. But okay, look, for me, I think, is there a 5x potential in Solana? Yeah, I think there's a 5x potential in Solana in the next bull run. Now, if things go crazy, and we've seen this before, could it go 10x? Yeah, I think it could go 10x. I think we could get to about a $600 Solana in the next bull run. But I don't think that's likely. I think it's possible. I don't think it's likely. Where I think the money to be made in Solana, now that it is part of this elite group of DCA coins, is in the ecosystem. Okay, it's like Ethereum was last cycle. If you had Ethereum last cycle, you did great. But where you made your big money were in the altcoins that were built on Ethereum. I think the same thing's happening here. We need to keep track of what's going on Solana, because I think it is those projects that are going to have the 10x's, the 20x's, the potential 100x's in this next bull run. That's why today is all about Solana. We're going to be going through a ton of projects that are on Solana. Think of this as your essential guide to Solana. If you're new to Solana, you haven't added it to your portfolio yet, this is the video for you. If you've been in Solana for a while, but you want to know what else is out there and you want to hear about a lot of projects that are on Solana, this video is for you. Okay, so do me a favor before we jump right into this, okay? Please smash that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. If you haven't subscribed to Cryptowise, make sure you do. You want to be part of our community going forward in this next bull run. Guys, exciting times ahead, so do not miss out. And remember, follow us on X at Cryptowise Guys. That's at Cryptowise Guys. Make sure you're following us there. And also, always know that Cryptowise is available both on YouTube and in podcast form. You can find Cryptowise on any of your favorite podcast providers if you just want to listen to our dulcet sounds as you fall asleep or go for a walk or drive in your car. However you want to consume Cryptowise, that's up to you. But either way, we hope you enjoy the show. All right, guys, we got a lot to get through, so let's jump right in. The numbers don't lie. Solana is hot, hot, hot. It's not just the Solana price that has gone crazy. It's the TVL in Solana. DeFi has never been Solana's strong suit. okay? But the last 30 days, the TVL in Solana is going crazy. I mean, look, it's just green, 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 green in all of these DApps on Solana. And we're going to talk about a lot of these projects in this video. But as you can see, in the last month, we've got 132%, 355%, 122%, 207%. Basically, every project on Solana, the TVL has gone up in the last month. So I want to kind of start from the very beginning. If you're someone who has not gotten Solana yet, I want you to be able to watch this video and purchase your first Solana and be able to get into the ecosystem. If you're someone who's already in the ecosystem, I think this is still good information and interesting conversation to have. So I want to start with wallets. Now, if you have been in Ethereum for a long time but haven't tried Solana yet, you probably use MetaMask. And MetaMask you can actually use now for Solana thanks to the MetaMask snaps that have been going on. But I don't actually recommend that. But if you know that's the way you want to go, you just head over to MetaMask snaps, snaps.metamask.io, and they've got all these snaps that you can add to your MetaMask now. I did a video about this a few weeks ago, and it basically makes MetaMask compatible with any of the chains out there. Now, they don't have all of them yet. They will eventually, but they do have a Solana one. They have it right here, the Solana Wallet Snap. You can add that to your MetaMask and boom, you can just keep using your MetaMask if that's what you prefer to do. But I got to say is one of the best things about Solana when I first discovered it was how great the wallets are in that ecosystem. And the first one that I've used was Phantom. Phantom's the big wallet in Solana. It's an amazing wallet, very easy to use. The look and feel of it is amazing. You can, and you know, NFTs are huge on Solana, and we're going to be talking about that in this video. And it's a great wallet for NFTs. It's just very easy to use. It works very much like your MetaMask. You just download the extension, you know, you do your seed phrase, and then you're good to go. And you can create as many wallets as you want within your Phantom wallet. So that's the one I use the most. I love it. They have been actually expanding to other chains. So they've got Ethereum on there. I believe they've got Polygon on there. I believe those are the three chains, but they are expanding. So another wallet to look at, which I just started using, is Solflare. And this is actually another really, really great wallet that on Solana. I've just started using it. I like it a lot. It has all of the features that Phantom has. It's got a great layout, easy to use, all of that stuff, great for NFTs. The one main difference between the two wallets, as far as I can see, is that Solflare is dedicated to Solana. So the way that Phantom has added other chains, Solflare has come out and said they're not going to do that. So this is the CEO of Solflare at Vidor_Solflare. He says, here are 5 simple reasons why Solflare wallet is committed to staying only on Solana. Number 1, conviction. Since 2016, we've been pioneers on over 10 non-EVM blockchains, building some from scratch. Discovering Solana in late 2019 gave us a whole new perspective on what's possible to do with blockchains. We really felt that it will onboard billions of users. 2, outlook. We are convinced that Solana is the blockchain that will be the backbone of the future of the financial system. I think Visa agrees with us here. 3, non-bloat. We refuse to compromise Solflare with multi-chain bloat, which would only result in reduced performance, poor UX, and the need to limit features to a lowest common denominator across chains. 4, speed. Solana moves quickly, and so do we. By focusing only on Solana, we are in a perfect spot to ship all the new features to our users as soon as they come out. This will ensure Solflare users are as updated and as secure as possible. 5, innovation. Our Solana-only approach allows us to deep dive, not wide. This approach fuels our ability to innovate. We're not just a part of the Solana world. We aim to be at the forefront of its evolution, shaping and being shaped by its growth. So there you have it. Solflare is dedicated to Solana. It's going to be only Solana wallet, which is a very different strategy than most wallets. Most wallets are going multi-chain now. They want basically any crypto user to use them. Solflare is putting all their eggs in the Solana basket. So, you know, there's something to be said for that. If you're going to be a dedicated Solana wallet, maybe they're right in that they will be able to provide features faster and be able to innovate faster and stay more secure. I kind of like that about them. I'm someone who personally likes having a lot of wallets. I don't like keeping, a lot of money in one wallet. We just know there's so many things that can go wrong. So I do like to diversify and have kind of all my crypto in a bunch of different wallets. Now, other people, that drives them crazy, and it's just too much to keep track of, way too many seed phrases, and where's this wallet? I forget where this wallet is. I like a lot of wallets. But I've loved Phantom, but I am slowly kind of using Solflare more and more. Now, one last wallet I want to talk about, and that is the Fuse wallet. Now, I don't actually have this yet, but this has been talked a lot about. It was talked a lot about at Breakpoint. I actually learned about Fuse through an interview that I heard with Anatoly. He talked about it. He's super excited about this idea because this is a wallet that is multi-sig that doesn't use a seed phrase. So it basically will take multiple devices from you and create a multi-sig wallet out of that. It's a smart wallet. So as they say here, this is Fuse, the first smart wallet for Solana, powered by Squads Protocol. One wallet, 3 keys, no seed phrase, coming soon to iOS. So it's not on iOS yet. I think you can download the desktop version for it, the Chrome version for it, but it's still a work in progress. But this is the future of wallets. These kind of smart wallets will be way easier to use. Getting rid of the seed phrase, that's kind of a step that a lot of people don't like. And that's kind of the ethos of Solana, right? Is they want to be the chain that brings 1 billion users to crypto because it's going to be fast, easy, and cheap. So I do think that this is one to watch, this Fuse wallet. Keep your eye out on this. This could be the future of Solana wallets. All right, now that you got a Solana wallet, the next step is, how do you get some Solana? Well, of course, you could buy it on any exchange. It's available pretty much on every exchange. But then how do you move it over to your Solana wallet? Well, there's a few options for you. Number one, there are bridges out there that can do this. The top 2 that I would recommend for Solana would be DeSwap, and one that's been around even longer is Portal. So I will link these in the video description, but caution. Okay, I actually have to say that for me, I'm not using bridges really that much these days. There's been a lot of hacks that have happened through the bridges. I'm definitely cautious. If you're sending a little bit of money, you're probably okay. But honestly, what I do right now, I just go through a centralized exchange. I use crypto.com right now. You can use Binance. I don't recommend that you hold a lot of money or tokens on those on centralized exchanges, especially what happened to FTX. You just never know. But if you're just, using it as a bridge, that's what I do. Crypto.com, you can send it straight to a Solana wallet through the Solana network, and same with Binance. And I'm sure all the other exchanges, you can probably do that too. So I don't really deal with the bridges these days, but if you're someone who's like, I don't use centralized exchanges at all, then the 2 that I think right now are the ones that I would maybe lean towards using is either DeSwap or Portal. Okie dokie, you got your Solana wallet, you've bought some Solana, you've sent it there, we are good to go. Okay, I cannot emphasize this enough, guys. If you're new to crypto, or if you've been in crypto for a long time, it doesn't matter. This is a crucial point I'm going to make. You got to get your hands dirty. You got to start playing around in these ecosystems, not just for the greater good or anything like that, because it's a way to make money. Okay, the most money I've made in crypto is when I've got my hands dirty, kind of tried things out, and sometimes you get rewarded for absolutely nothing, just for using these things. And I think in Solana, it seems like we are going to be entering this phase soon. What do I mean by that? Well, Miles Deutscher of Crypto Banter, which is obviously one of the big crypto channels out there. If you're watching this, I'm sure you've probably heard of Crypto Banter. He does these great threads on X. He's definitely worth a follow, and he did one yesterday talking about Solana airdrops. Now, he's not the only one talking about this, and obviously this is something that I've had on my radar for a very long time as well. The point being is there are a lot of DApps on Solana that do not have tokens yet, a lot of the top projects. And we saw this in the last cycle around 2020, which we refer to now as the summer of DeFi. There were a lot of ETH projects that did not have tokens yet, and all of a sudden, starting with Uniswap, there were all these airdrops that happened, and you could end up making a lot of money. You get a lot of these tokens for free through airdrops, and it's just a great perk for being in crypto. Now, even if you don't get the airdrops, I think there's a lot of value to be using these things, trying out the DeFi, trying out the NFT, trying out the gaming stuff. That is how you keep your eye on the ball, and you will stumble into making a lot of money in these bull runs just by kind of every day being in there, trying things out, using them. So that is my number one recommendation for you for this upcoming bull run, is get in there, use this stuff. So that's what today's video is all about. We're getting into the meat of it now, okay? So let's just talk a little bit about this thread that Miles put on here about these airdrops, because a lot of these projects I'm going to be talking about in this video. So the first thing we're going to do with that Solana that you just bought or you've already been holding is we're going to try some of these DeFi platforms, okay? So this first section is going to be on DeFi. As Miles says here, there are 20 tokenless protocols in the Solana ecosystem. A lot of these are the biggest ones out there. First one, Drift protocol. It's a perpetual DEX. Now, I actually talked about Drift in my last Solana video, so hopefully you've already been using it. Drift.trade. Okay, so just have this on your radar. And I'm going to be talking about a strategy for how you can take a little bit of your Solana today and start getting your hands dirty in these DeFi protocols, and hopefully that will result in some airdrops for you down the road. Second one he talks about, which I also talked about, is Sol. Now, this is a staking rewards platform for Sol, Network. The next one he talks about is MarginFi, which is a money market on Solana. And then the fourth one, and these will be the four that I will focus in on, but then I'm going to throw in a couple of my own that aren't here yet. Jupiter Exchange, another DEX that there's a lot of hype going around that their airdrop is going to be happening very soon. Okay, so the first one I would start out with is actually Sol. So you've got some Solana, you can stake it on Sol, and you get yourself some, Sol. And as Miles says here, you will earn 1 point per Sol per day. And then if you deposit your Sol into some LPs and other DeFi protocols, you will earn 2 points per Sol per day. You can also refer people using the referral system. But essentially, you just go to Jito, stake Sol, boom, stake now, and then connect your wallet. These are the ones that I have on this computer, but if you had a Phantom, that would show up as well. And then just, stake your Sol, get your Sol going. And then from there, you can use that Sol in a bunch of different DeFi platforms, a lot of the ones that we're going to be talking about today. So that would be the first step that I would do. So then from there, you could either go to MarginFi. You could lend your Sol here in MarginFi. If you have other assets, because we're going to be talking about a bunch of other tokens on Solana later in this video, then you can also use those in conjunction with your Sol. You can use Sol and Sol to add liquidity to some liquidity pools, but there is that. Now, if you have extra Sol, so if you say you bought a X amount of Sol and you put say 25% of that into Sol, then what you want to do is at some point go to Jupiter and just start trading. The great thing about Solana is it's so cheap that you could take some of that Sol, say, and just trade, do a bunch of trades. We're going to be talking about Bonk later in this video. So let's say, you just do a trade and buy a bunch of Bonk, and then you could trade it back. The fees are so cheap that just using the DEXs is going to be way more affordable than it was back in the day when you had to do this on ETH. You know, to use Uniswap, it was fairly expensive, so you couldn't just do a bunch of these trades. But here on Solana, it's going to be very easy just to use these protocols, try them out, and it's not going to cost you a lot in fees. So in terms of Jupiter Exchange, what they're expecting you to do to qualify for their airdrop is swap. So what I just said, you know, just change, you know, just doing a bunch of swaps on there. You can set limit orders, you can set DCA using Jupiter. So like I said, you should be buying Solana or adding that to your DCA list if you're like me, at least, not financial advice. You can use Jupiter's bridge if you want. So that's another option for bridging, is using Jupiter. And then you can also trade perps on Jupiter. So, but I do want to mention a couple of other protocols that he doesn't talk about here. One of them is Marinade.finance. So this is, they also do liquid staking. So that's where you, what I was just talking about with Jito Sol, where you can stake your Solana on Jito, you get Jito Sol back. Here, it's the kind of the same idea. You can stake your Sol through Marinade, and you get a liquid DeFi token back that you can use. And the Sol you get back from Marinade is called M-Sol. And then you could provide liquidity here. If you got a bit of M-Sol and used your Sol, then you could provide a little bit of liquidity here in the liquidity pool. So you could get extra APY on your Solana through that. These are all little tricks and trades of once you get your hands dirty, get in there. There's definitely, certainly through the DeFi, one of the reasons you're going to use the DeFi is not just for trading, but to earn yield. And in a decentralized way. Obviously, we learned our lesson with the centralized players to try to get some yield on our tokens. And a lot of them went bankrupt last time, but we saw that the ETH DeFi platforms were worked the whole time. So if you'd used Aave or Curve or whatever on ETH last time, you were safe and you were earning a bit of yield. So that's why you want to kind of use some of these DeFi platforms also to earn some yield. Speaking of Aave, kind of the Aave of Solana is Solend. So this is another platform where you can take that Jito Sol or your M-Sol and use it here on Solend. So this is basically the Solana equivalent of Aave, where you could lend your tokens as collateral and get some earn some APR back for that, or you can borrow others and pay interest on that, but go and use what you've borrowed in the ecosystem. So Solend.fi, that is another one that I would recommend. And if we go back to DeFi Llama, you'll see them all on here, and you'll see how much that they are growing. So Marinade Finance is actually the biggest platform right now in Solana. It's gotten over 127% TVL in the last month, and it has over half $1 billion in TVL right now. Then there's the Jito Sol. Then Solend is third. MarginFi, which we just talked about, is fourth. Another DEX that you could try out is Orca. I talked about that in one of my last videos. It's another DEX on Solana. But because Jupiter right now is really pushing, we really think that their airdrop is going to happen. I would use Jupiter if you can, if they have the tokens that you need at the moment. I would lean towards Jupiter right now. All right, so that's a quick look at the DeFi world on Solana these days. Now, in future videos, I'll go in more in depth on these platforms. I'll let you know how I'm using them. We'll keep searching for the best APY, especially for stablecoin liquidity. That's always a good way. As we start taking profits in this bull run, we'll want to use some of that stablecoin to earn some APY in some of these DeFi platforms. So we'll keep you informed about all of this moving forward in our future videos. And so make sure, if you haven't already, that you are subscribed to Cryptowise. And at this point, if you made it this far, please do me a favor, smash that like button. It really helps people find us. We're kind of relaunching the channel here in the last few weeks, and we're going to be around. Now we're going to do regular content, especially through the new year. We're going to hopefully go to almost daily daily content again. And we're really going to be here for you talking crypto leading up to the next Bitcoin halving and beyond, because I think the next year and a half are going to be super, super exciting in crypto. It's going to be a lot of fun again, finally, in crypto. All right, so the next category we need to talk about, Solana, that you need to get your hands dirty if you haven't already, is NFTs. Okay, I'm not going to go too much into NFTs because we're going to be talking a lot about NFTs in future videos, but I do want to touch upon them in this kind of essential guide to Solana because they are such a big part of the Solana ecosystem. Now, the main marketplace for NFTs for Solana is Magic Eden. I do think it is still the best NFT marketplace. And look, NFTs got killed in this last crypto winter, and they haven't really come back yet. I think they're going to be a lagging indicator. To me, they're more like a luxury item, the way that like a watch is, the way that watches have kind of devalued, or luxury cars, or any sort of luxury item. Really right now in the market, if you notice, they've kind of devalued recently, and they haven't kind of come back the way with the crypto market or the actual stock market yet. But I do think as the bull market keeps going, I think NFTs are going to have their day again. And I think, look, not financial advice, you do you. I think it's good to just kind of grab a couple of NFTs if you want to learn about the Solana ecosystem, and whichever collection you want to grab, that's up to you. I will say that on Miles' list of airdrops is another NFT marketplace. That is Tensor. They're really kind of modeling themselves after Blur on ETH, and we all know what happened there is that Blur did an airdrop for the Blur token, and a lot of people made a lot of money off of that token, and actually has done fairly well since. So a lot of attention has moved over to Tensor.trade lately. And so if you want to kind of go try to do the airdrop route, then you might want to try Tensor out. And according to Miles, the way to accumulate points for the airdrop is to list NFTs from the top 100 collections, bid on NFTs from the top 100 collections, market make NFTs from the top 100 collections. So you have to focus in on the top 100 collections. If we scroll down here, because the top ones are obviously going to be the most expensive, but if we go down to 100 right now is Teo Infants, and then we have some OG projects like Soul Gods, and right now they've got a buy now at 3.75 Soul. I actually just sold my last Soul God, so I don't have any Soul Gods anymore, but I was part of the mint of this project, and it did really well for me, actually. So that's one I really like a lot. But if you go to the top 5, right now we've got Mad Lads, which has been doing really great. Claynosaurus is another one. Famous Fox Federation, another OG project that has done really, really well for itself with a floor of 21 Soul. And OK Bears was another huge hyped project, NFT collection back in the day. It's actually like from back in the day, it's done really badly in terms of where it was at. I forget exactly now what the all-time high for the floor was, but it was certainly around 300 Soul, I think, at some point. It's down to 15 Soul. OK Bears is actually one of the projects I wanted to talk about because for me, one of my theories in the upcoming NFT bull run that I do think will be coming, not as fast as the crypto bull run, but I think it will come shortly behind that, is that I think some of these OG projects, especially on ETH, of course, but I do think if Solana does as well as we think it's going to do this bull run, I think some of these OG NFT collections will inherently have value. They'll kind of have this retro value. Now, not financial advice, you might totally disagree with me, but I do think some of these collections will just have kind of this kind of, like the way that art has value. I think just owning some of these kind of OG Solana projects I do think some of them will have more value than a lot of the newer projects that are going to promise all sorts of things, but aren't going to have the cachet of having been around for a few years. So I think OK Bears, for me, I'm actually interested in them as kind of a bounce back play. They were expected to be this kind of huge collection on Solana, and it hasn't really worked out for them. A lot of other projects have surpassed them. So at 15 Soul, even though, it's still not nothing, I think that they have a chance that they could really accrue a lot of value if NFTs start to pump again. Another one, a little bit off the beaten path, which if you watch the channel for a long time, this was a project we were super excited about. I bought a ton of these on Mint. I know Marv did too. Still one of my favorite projects, even though it has done terribly, is We Are the Walrus. Now, to me, I think just inherent value of the art, like I don't expect, I don't know, this project has gone through so many, challenges. I don't really know what's going on. I don't think anything right now currently is being built. But in my kind of theory of this is you're going to have people like me and Marv, other people who are really into crypto, some crypto whales and stuff, who I think are just going to kind of create their own momentum for whatever collection they're into. Personally, for me, that's going to be We Are the Walrus as my kind of crypto value, and I start making money again in crypto and stuff. I'm just always going to support We Are the Walrus because I just love the art. I think it's one of the cool OG collections on Solana. Now, for you, that might be something else. Like, this is the kind of project for me I'm looking at in terms of like a floor price of 0.19 Solana. So what is that? It's like $12 or whatever it is right now per NFT. And I do think at a certain point, you're going to have some whales kind of come in and grab some of these earlier collections. And we've seen like even something like Cyber Frogs, which again was kind of one of these earlier collections. They've gained momentum recently. Their floor price is up to 11.4 Sol. So I don't know. That's my theory, not financial advice, but I would, even if you're not into NFTs or whatever, if you want to get into Solana, NFTs is such a big part of it, and find out why, because it's so easy and fast and cheap that, even just go in here and find the cheapest collection and just buy a couple of things for a couple of cents, I would really lean towards the ones that were launched in 2021, but, you do you kind of thing. But certainly as part of an essential Solana experience, I think you got to own a few NFTs. All right, that brings me to Solana Gaming, Web3 gaming. I am so pumped about Web3 gaming moving forward, especially in this next bull run. I think there is going to be huge opportunity in blockchain Web3 gaming. If you watch this channel, you know my number one, hands down right now, is PhotoFinish.live. Photo Finish on Solana. It's a horse racing ecosystem. This to me shows off everything that could be amazing about Web3 gaming right now. Okay, this isn't something that's is still needs to be tweaked and building, is in beta stage, or needs to do this or that or that. It is here. It is amazing. It's an amazing accomplishment already. I've made so much money off of Photo Finish Live already, and that's after I totally screwed up the breeding process. I could have made so much more money, but so many people are making money on this game. To me, hands down, the best game in Web3 right now. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I did a full video on it. That's this video here. This crypto game is on fire. You can watch it right now if you want, or watch it after you finish this video. I will say, though, that it is a great opportunity to join the game right now, because Season 8, I believe it is about to begin. Season 7 just ended yesterday, which means that a whole flood of new horses that have been born, basically in between every season, new horses are born. And so there's opportunities right now to buy a horse if you want to do that, or to just start a season from scratch. Season 8 is beginning today. Okay, there's a bunch of other projects on Solana that I want to touch upon, so I'm not going to go in depth in gaming here, but trust me, we're going to talk a lot about Web3 gaming moving forward on this channel. I'll just bring attention to this article here on Decrypt. These are all the Solana games on the Epic Games store right now. So Epic Games, I'm not really a gamer, to be honest, but it is a big gaming platform where you will find some of the biggest games in the world on here. And there are some Solana games that are featured on Epic Games right now in their store. And so I just thought I would mention these. NFTs. A lot of these I've talked about already on the channel. Number one, Star Atlas. This was a hugely hyped game, and it continues to build. Super ambitious. If they pull this off, it will be massive. Aurora. This is another game I've talked a lot about. I, full disclosure, own some Aurora token, and I just stake it. I haven't played the game yet or anything, but I do believe in it, and therefore I invested in the token, and I just stake it, and I'm just hoping for the best. I hope that the game does really well. And then the third one is Yaku. This one I actually haven't talked about on the channel before. Yaku. I haven't played the game or anything. I believe it's still maybe in beta stage, but I actually do own some of the NFTs because I minted them when they minted. That was a while back now, and they've lost a lot of value for me, but whatever, I'm going to hang on to them. So that's another way to get into these games. Most of these games do have NFTs attached to them. So if you're a gamer, my number one recommendation is go into the game, find out, start playing. That's the best way to do it for sure. That's what I did with Photo Finish Live, because that was kind of more my speed, and through just playing the game and stuff, I figured out how to make some money there. That's the best thing. Second is if they, if they have a token like Aurora, you can go that route. Grab the token if they're staking, whatever. But a third way to do it is just, grab some of the NFTs if you want and hold on to them there. That's a way to get in also on some of these gameplays. The other two here that are on Epic, one is called Chain Crisis, and then the last one here is Angelic Dark Symphony. So again, I'm not going to go into these in depth, but we are going to be talking a lot about Web3 gaming, and these are 5 to have on your radar right now. 5 Solana games that are available in the Epic Games store right now. Okay, now I'm just going to rapid fire through a bunch of other Solana projects that I think need to be on your radar. All right, let's talk meme coins. Okay, so obviously on ETH, the top meme coin is Doge. Dogecoin, obviously. And if you watch the channel, you know that I recently added Doge to my 2025 bull run portfolio. I think it's an essential coin to own in the next bull run. I was not a meme coin guy at all in the last bull run, but I have to admit, a lot of people made a ton of money and I missed out, and I think they're here to stay. And I think anytime crypto pumps, you're going to have a few of these meme coins do really, really well. On ETH, I think that's Doge, and on Solana, I believe that is Bonk. And Bonk is doing a bunch of things. One of those things is Bonk Swap, which is another DEX that you can use. But to me, meme coins really are just about community, about awareness, about hype. And they can really gain a lot of momentum in bull cycles. And recently, Bonk has gone bonkers. So it's down 5.4 today, but if we look at the last 7 days, it has gone pretty crazy. And if we look at the max chart here, it's actually just recently hit a new all-time high, and it's coming down from that. But okay, so full disclosure, Bonk, I own Bonk just because they airdropped it to me. I don't know why, other than I was a very active member on Solana. I had a ton of wallets there. I did a lot of stuff on Solana. I traded a lot. I bought a lot of NFTs. I did a lot of stuff. And all of a sudden, I had a bunch of Bonk in my wallet. So I've been paying attention to it. So that airdrop happened in January, and I saw the price of Bonk after the airdrop went kind of crazy, and it just like zoomed up, and then it crashed. And I have to say that this is very common for airdrop tokens. You will get a kind of early peak where it finds a kind of price, and then usually it dumps. So one of the great strategies to do is try to sell that peak, knowing that there's going to be a dump, and if you really believe in it, just buying it back. I am a hodler. I just kind of, I'm not really much of a trader. And so because I knew, whatever, this was kind of free money for me, I've just hung on to it. And, sometime in this area here, over the last year, I was kind of like, well, maybe I should have just sold that Bonk. That was dumb to hang on to it. But now look, it's reached an all-time high. And actually, I'm just going to keep holding on to it because I do think, again, if Solana does really well this cycle, I think Bonk is, strangely enough, going to do well, because I think if ETH does well, Doge is going to do well, and Bonk essentially is the Doge of Solana. They've really kind of claimed that space as the #1 meme coin for Solana. Okay, another token that I think you need to know about. You probably, maybe if you're in crypto, already know about this one. This is Helium. Now, Helium recently moved over to Solana. I believe it started in ETH or on ETH. And because it couldn't do what it needed to do or wanted to do on ETH, it moved over to Solana. And this is going to be interesting to see if we see more of this, because if people need a faster, cheaper chain, then Solana right now is the play to do that. I do think DOT will also be part of that, but right now we see more momentum in Solana. Now, Helium essentially is data, like basically mobile data or kind of internet data for mobile devices, cheap, that you can get cheap. And what they're trying to do is build a whole network so you can buy one of their devices, and basically if you kind of hook it up and use it, people can use your device to access mobile data, and they gave you basically mine the Helium token for providing the service for the network. So it's a really cool idea. If it takes off, it could be absolutely huge. I know this token, in the last cycle, a lot of people really loved it and believed in it, and I love that they switched over to Solana and they're still building and stuff. And then from a price perspective, from a kind of a risk reward ratio, the fact that it's still down around $2 right now when its all-time high was over $50 in the last cycle, that is pretty amazing for a project like this. You can see that the circulating supply is up over 50%. Of what the total supply, max supply, is going to be. So I think this is actually a very interesting play for the next bull run. So Helium, make sure that's on your Solana radar. I have to say also that Anatoly also loves to talk about Helium in any of the interviews he does. A couple other projects he talks about. One is Sling. There's no token for this yet, but this is kind of a Venmo using Solana. I do think payments, fast, easy payments, is going to be a huge part of the Solana story. So keep an eye out here for the project Sling. And then another interesting project was Drip.house. This is actually a membership play for NFTs where you become a member and then you're just airdropped I think it's monthly. I'm not actually sure what the schedule is, but I believe it's monthly. Then you get basically airdropped NFTs from certain creators. A lot of these are more on the kind of the art side of the NFT world. But this is doable because of compressed NFTs on Solana, which you can't do on any other chain. So this is a kind of an innovative project. Instead of people buying individual NFTs, you become a member and you just get airdropped. Every time they do a collection, you get an airdrop of that NFT. And right now they've done 60 million collectibles that have been minted in this. On the secondary market, 2 million in sales, 500,000 people are using Drop House so far. So this is another project to check out. Very interesting, only on Solana because of their compressed NFTs. I think it's just crazy how much cheaper it is to mint NFTs right now on Solana through this compressed method than any other chain. And then lastly, obviously, this is something everyone's been talking about. Apparently, the Pyth Network airdrop just happened. They are kind of a competitor to Chainlink on Solana. So at Pyth Network here on X, smarter data for smarter contracts. So anyway, I won't spend a lot of time on this because the airdrop has allegedly happened in the last, this kind of just dropped over the last few hours. I need to look more into this. Just be very, very careful with airdrops. About claiming airdrops. There's just so many scams and stuff out there regarding airdrops and stuff. So just make sure before you try to claim any airdrop, don't click on any suspicious links or anything like that. Most airdrops will just literally be that. They will just appear in your wallet. You won't have to do anything for them. If you've used the protocol, they can track who is using them through your wallet address, and then they just kind of literally airdrop that token into you. So be very, very careful of any sort of phishing schemes or any sort of malicious links or anything like that about airdrops. A ton of them are scams, okay? Especially on X. Don't just click on some sort of weird link because it says airdrop something. Okay, that is one of the #1 scams in crypto. So please, please, please be careful. But it is airdrop season in Solana, so there is money to be made. But honestly, I think, to me, more importantly than that is get your hands dirty. You think Solana is going to be one of the major chains in the next bull run? You got to be out there. Use the platforms. Use the DApps. Buy some NFTs. Play some of the games. That, I promise you, if you are engaged in an ecosystem and it does well, you will just make money somehow, because that is just how it works. You got to be, it's my #1 advice for you is, speculation is great. Going on Binance, buying a token, hoping it goes up in the next bull run. Sure, you might make some money doing that, but I promise you the people who make the most money are out there every day, engaged, trying the stuff out, because from there you start to understand it more. You take chances on things you might not, and then all of a sudden one of those is a big winner. You're not just following the trends or, buying the coins that your friend is telling you to buy. All right, guys, this was an epic episode, the essential guide to Solana. We're going to be talking so much Solana in the next year, so don't worry about that. Tons more Solana projects to talk about. We'll go more in depth than the ones that I did talk about today. And, of course, we'll be covering all the other chains, too, like we do on Cryptowise. We cover all things crypto. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Do me a favor, please, smash that like button if you haven't already. Yes, you. Yes, I mean you. If you haven't smashed that like button, do me that favor. Thanks so much, guys. Love you all. Until next time, I'm Milton saying over and out.